Good evening, family, and grace and peace. I'm going to give just a few more seconds to get settled in, and we're going to get ready to get started. So while we're doing that, I want to again thank you all for lending us your time, your attention, and your ears today. This has been a wonderful day that the Lord has made, and hopefully by now we have made a conscious decision that we have and we are going to continue to rejoice and be glad in it. The conditions may be unfavorable at times, but there's a good God that is still in control. So for that reason, we say we're grateful to God for this day that He's made with us in mind. So again, as you're coming in, as always, if you would, please, ma'am, please, sir, let's make sure that you're hitting that share button as you're coming in. So thank you for tuning in right here on our Facebook page. And also, if you're on YouTube, thank you for tuning in and subscribing as well to our YouTube channel. All right, so we're just about ready to go. We're almost at our magic number. We're looking pretty good there. Signal is looking pretty good. Audio is sounding pretty good. Let us know if you're having any issues, but hopefully and prayerfully we won't see anything in the near future for this session tonight. So again, as you're coming in, continue to greet one another, and we're going to be prepared to go into our session for tonight. We're still in that vein of right education. We'll be going into right economics starting on this coming Sunday. So we want to kind of bring this to a close on this evening as it relates to right education. And if you've noticed the title of this session tonight, we have titled this lesson or this topic tonight, The Truth Hurts. Okay, so it's going to be a real good discussion, I believe, coming from that vein, from that thought of the truth hurts. So we're going to get some nuggets, some takeaways. I want you to be able to leave this session tonight, as we've said before, by saying, or having said, or to answer this question, what did you learn? So we want you to walk away with that, with being able to answer that question effectively and accordingly, depending on what situation or what circumstance that you're dealing with in your own personal walk, in that circle that you're in that we call life. So we want you to take away something that's going to be useful and practical in your Christian walk in this earth. As we are sojourners passing through, we want to make sure that we're being impactful and taking full advantage of where God has placed us. All right. So I want to say, also want to thank God for traveling grace, allowing my wife and myself to travel to the Atlanta area and back this past weekend. We thank you for your prayers. We oftentimes don't broadcast or let too many people know when we're going to be leaving or be out of town, but nonetheless, those who were informed, we thank you for your prayers and your considerations towards us as we went to the Atlanta area for business / assignment / pleasure. I say that because we had the privilege of officiating our spiritual daughter, and now I can say my spiritual son, their wedding. So we're grateful to God for Mr. and Mrs. Marcus Tia English. So we congratulate them and celebrate them on their union. That was number 30 for me. And again, that is just an honor and a privilege to be a part of such an intimate, important, meaningful occasion in people's lives, such as marriage. So we are grateful to God for them having confidence in us through the years, through their walk up until this union, taking them by the hand and seeing their progress and their journey up close and personal to get to that point. It is such a wonderful thing to experience as their growth and maturity takes place over that journey into marriage. And we pray continued blessings from that point and beyond. I want to say also thank God for our local church family, for you carrying out the assignment and the responsibilities that God has bestowed upon that local ministry. We're grateful to God for mature, competent, capable people being able to leave the house with confidence I want to thank God for Brother Gaskin and always the youth, the choir, the musicians, all of you in your respective places. We are grateful to God for your willingness and your diligence and your commitment to the ministry, to kingdom purpose, which allows my wife and I to go out and to minister and to aid and assist in other areas because of your commitment to kingdom service. So we are grateful to God for that. And I'm just glad that God is everywhere present. So the same God that was in Atlanta is the same God who was also right here in Douglas, Georgia, meeting all of our needs at the same time. Only he can do that. All right. So we thank God for those that are already on. Let me see if I'm just going to check on this signal right quick. It looks as if it's still pretty good, but y'all let me know if you're having any problems with it. Let me know if your signal is looking pretty good. I'm just checking it out real quick. May have been just on my end, but give me the appropriate response if we're looking good and we're ready to go. Okay, I'm getting some thumbs up. And I saw Sister Patricia Williams. She said that it was sounding good as well. Okay, so that looks like the majority. So let's go ahead and get ready to jump right in. So we've been talking about right education. There was a phrase that we coined, if you will. If we are taught right, we have the tendency to do right. I say the tendency because oftentimes you can teach people right, but they still refuse to do right. Hence, we brought up the text where it says in Proverbs to train up a child in the way they should go, to when they go old, they won't depart from it. That is not a promise. That is a proverb. That is not a guarantee that if you train them right, that when they get older, they will not depart or they will gravitate back to it. That is not an absolute. That is not a promise. That is encouragement to continue to teach that which is right. I said that as a segue into what I'm about to say next. Just because you preach truth, that does not mean that everyone's going to accept the truth. Everybody's not going to receive the truth. Everybody's not open to the truth. Why? Because of the title of the session tonight. Because the truth hurts. I've said this over the years as well. There's nothing more truthful in the natural than a mirror. You can have all the filters you want. You can have all the coverings that you want. You can mask as much as you want. But when the rubber meets the road, that mirror in the natural is going to show you what it is. The mirror is not sympathetic. The mirror is not biased. The mirror cannot be bribed. The mirror is going to simply show you what is really there. And that's what the truth is like. The truth can't be bribed. It can't be compromised. The truth has no favorites. It is what it is. It's going to show what it's going to show. It's going to reveal whatever it's going to reveal. And to be honest, that can be hurtful at times, even disappointing. I've done this for a while now. I can say safely, not as long as some. But over the years, I've learned that when you preach the truth, it's not everyone's cup of tea. And sad to say, in the contemporary times that we're living in, as it relates to the state of the church, for that matter, the truth does not seem to be the priority. And let me know if y'all are with me on this. Just send up the appropriate response as I'm teaching. If you just survey our surroundings as a whole, and also within the church as a whole, it just seems as if, it comes off as if the truth does not seem to be the priority. We can oftentimes see clearly what's wrong, especially when you're coming from, I'll just speak from my vantage point, when you're coming from or standing from the position of leadership in the church, when you're standing from a position of leadership even beyond the church, oftentimes people will look at and they can see exactly what's wrong. But because the truth may offend, because the truth may be a turnoff to some people, because the truth may cause us to lose some favors from people, because the truth may cause us to lose some endorsements. That's from the church and beyond. Oftentimes people will turn to something else because the truth, again, I'll be saying this a few times tonight. Why? Because the truth, it hurts. The truth hurts. But does that mean that we should just stay away from the truth? Does that mean that we should just leave it alone because it's not preferred? But no, we're going to take a look at a verse tonight where Paul actually told Timothy, you preach the truth even the more. In season, out of season, when it's preferred, when it's not preferred, when people want it, when they don't want it, you have to be in a position, you have to have a certain posture to preach the truth or to declare or to speak the truth. Why? Because there is a desperate need for the truth. Jesus prayed a prayer for the disciples, and we can safely say that that prayer can also be applied as a covering for us as well, because praying for future disciples, future believers. Father, I pray that you keep them, not that you would necessarily take them out of the world, but that you would keep them while they're in the world, that you would sanctify them with truth, that thy word is truth. So y'all hear me out on this text, and somebody, y'all can pull that up while I'm quoting that. Well, not quoting it, but I'm paraphrasing that verse. Somebody pull that up and put it on the screen, because here's what Jesus is saying. He said, now, I'm not asking that you would just take them out of this world. In other words, let's paraphrase even further, that you would just remove them out of every situation, every circumstance. But I pray that until your will is fulfilled in their lives, until ultimately your plan of salvation comes to this culmination, I pray that you would keep them. How can we be kept? Jesus alluded to this in his prayer, or he actually addressed this in his prayer, I should say. Sanctify them. What does that mean to be sanctified? Set aside, set them apart for a specific use. There should be a difference. Sanctify them with what? With truth. And then he went further to describe what does he mean by truth. He said, your word is truth. So listen, y'all, in the midst of philosophies, opinions, these type of self-proclaimed experts, pseudo-theologians, all the things that are going on today, what is the thing that's going to keep us? That Jesus prayed. He said, and I like the cliches, all those things. He said, what is going to sustain us, y'all? What's going to sustain us? And listen, what I'm saying tonight applies across the board. We're coming up to another election term, another election season and listen, you hear the same type of rhetoric, the lies, the insults, the accusations. The list goes on and on. You hear all of this, and some Christians get caught up in this, and now your Christianity is on trial. Your level of love and commitment to God is now gauged by how you vote. It's just so much stuff going on. What is going to keep us? Y'all got to hear me on this tonight. What is going to keep us in the midst of all of this uncertainty, in the midst of all of this confusion, in the midst of all of this rhetoric that's going on? What's going to keep us? Now, as I'm saying this, I want you to put this in the comment section as well. The truth is what's going to sustain us and keep us. What do I mean by keep us? Not only keep us grounded and not only keep us stable and sure-footed and sound, but keep us from being pulled this way and influenced that way. Keep us from getting in our feelings, and keep us from being persuaded and led by our emotions. Truth is what keeps you. Think about it like this. I don't care what's being said about you. I don't care what's being said about me. What's ultimately going to keep you focused and keep you grounded, to keep you assured, is that you know the truth. Am I right? But people can say a lot of things, and they will, and they do. People can believe a lot of things. They can, and they will, and they do. Opinions are everywhere. and everyone has their right to them. There are going to be opinions about you, about me, about what you do, about what I do, about your church, about your home, about your lifestyle. There's going to be a whole lot that's going to be said. A lot is going to be on display. A lot is going to be on trial, the court of opinions. But in the midst of all of that, what's going to keep you? The truth. I told you guys this a while back. I said you should be, if you have the truth on your side, you should be able to sleep soundly on a lie. You should be able to lay your head on a lie like it's a Cerner mattress or whatever that brand of that mattress is. You should be able to sleep soundly on a lie. Why? Because you have the truth on your side. You know the facts. You know what actually is. So all these opinions and all this rhetoric and all of this, the naysayers and this and that, the truth is what's going to sustain you. And the Bible goes on further and says, it is the truth that is going to make, or another translation says, is going to set you free. Free from what? Free from sin, free from ourselves, free from the court of opinion, free from being influenced by our surrounding culture. You have got to get to know and get an understanding of the truth. This is why it is so important, y'all, that you know the truth. Again, because as you know and embrace the truth, it produces a courage, it produces a confidence, it produces even a pride, and it creates a posture about yourself where you hold your head and you hold your shoulders back, because in the midst of what everybody is saying, you ultimately know the truth. Now, here's where the problem comes in a lot of times. A lot of times we're not satisfied with just the truth, because oftentimes truth stands alone. I'm going to say that again, because oftentimes, how many of you can attest to that? Sometimes, you're just overwhelmed by the court of opinion. Sometimes you're just overwhelmed by what was said or what is being said. So much so until just you standing alone with the truth, sometimes that it can feel like that's not enough. It seems at times like you need to be validated by the courts of opinions. So it takes a certain man, it takes a certain woman of God, a certain man of God, to be able to take the truth and have the truth alone, and to take that and have the truth on your side, and to move forward in that. Okay, so this is why we're talking about how the truth can hurt, not just by telling the truth or sharing the truth, but also the truth can hurt when it comes to us embracing the truth and having the truth alone on our side, and it seems like everything and everybody else is against us. Guess what? The same applies. The truth hurts. Can anybody attest to that? When you've had this being said, this being done, accusations here, opinions there, and it just seems like they're coming from all sides. If you haven't been there, well, just keep living. At some point in time, you'll get to that point. And then it becomes almost like painful to have to endure all of that when you have the truth. Anybody ever been there? You have the truth. And you be like, wait a minute, hold on now. That's not true. I have the truth. This is the truth. And you will begin to wear yourself out trying to convince people, persuade them to subscribe to a different narrative and come over onto the side of truth. Because oftentimes people don't, let me just put this out there real quick before I put my first slide up, because oftentimes people don't want the truth. They want the narrative that they created in their own minds. Because in some ways, in some aspects, they are already biased and leaning towards a certain area that they are more persuaded in. So when I tell you the truth hurts, man, the truth, it hurts. When you're delivering it, when you're embracing it, and you have it, and that's all you have is the truth, You and the truth standing alone, that can feel like a lonely place, a hurtful place. It can even feel like a disappointing place. But let me just tell somebody tonight, don't you give up on truth. Well, the song said, truth, or comes from a stanza of the song, truth marches on. Truth marches on. And let me add this. It just came back to me. The Holy Spirit brought this back to me. There's something that I mentioned during a sermon years ago. It just came back to me. You have to outlive a lie. That's what you have to do. You have to outlive a lie, because you can't stop truth. You can't, as I said earlier, you can't persuade or bribe truth. So what do? With the lies and the rhetorics and the opinions and this and that, you outlive them. You outlive them. And here's what I mean by outliving a lie. I'm not just talking about a length of time, but I'm talking about the quality of life. But I hope this old sermon just came back, getting a little excited. But you have to know how to have the wherewithal to outlive a lie. In other words, nothing can change. Nothing can change in my life. I can't change my standard. I can't change how I move for a lie. I'm going to outlive this thing. Not just with the length of time that I live, but the quality of life that I live. I've learned these lessons from being a parent, being a father. You know, I've taught these things to my daughter over the years. I said, baby, you can't always, well, not always, but 9 times out of 10, you can't help or change what people say about you. But one thing you can do, you can outlive that lie. Don't try to be vindictive or try to retaliate. The best way to so-called get even is to be successful. That's what I taught my daughter. That's what I actually told her in my home. I said, you got to outlive that lie. Just outlive it. Outlive it. Again, not just with the length of time that you live, but the quality of life that you live. Because all you need is truth. You don't need validation. Your success or your destiny is not up for an election. There are no votes that are going to be taken on your success. This is not predicated upon how many people believe in it and support it. It has nothing to do with that. You have to have truth on your side, and that's all you need. And you outlive that lie. You outlive it. You have to outlive negativity. You have to outlive the naysayers. You outlive them. I didn't say I didn't say out-talk them. I didn't say out-talk them or try to do. No, you outlive them. You outlive a lie. You go on about your day to day. You go on and you succeed. You go on and you accomplish. You go on and you overcome. You all those things. That's how you outlive it. And then after a while, it loses. A lie, watch this, will lose its momentum. Can I didn't mean to stay on this long, but I got to give y'all this as the Holy Spirit is dropping it in my spirit. A lie will eventually lose its momentum, because watch this. Here's what a lie needs. A lie needs your support. Well, y'all better be putting this in the comment section. Y'all better put this in the comment section right here. A lie, put this in there right here. A lie needs your support, but a truth doesn't need your support. Boy, I'm telling y'all, truth stands alone. Remember I told you about truth? Truth marches on. Truth doesn't need help. Truth doesn't need the majority. Truth doesn't have to be voted on. But a lie has to have support. It has to have somebody to feed it and somebody to support it. Somebody has to get involved. Somebody has to. But truth don't need nobody. My goodness. I hope this is helping somebody already. And I didn't even have this in my lesson tonight. Truth doesn't need anybody. Well, what did we say earlier that Jesus prayed? Sanctify them with truth. I like that. So that's it. Truth stands alone. Jesus says, sanctify them with truth. Thy word, God said, thy word is truth. Guess what? God's word don't need nobody. Y'all all right? Did y'all get that? Truth doesn't need anybody. It doesn't. Whether you agree with truth or not, whether you like truth or not, but a lie, it has to be supported because it has no sustainability, because there's no integrity about it. And because there's no integrity about a lie, it has to have somebody to keep it going and to keep it stirred up and keep it ignited and keep it inflamed. But the truth is good. Like Sister, I think just posed that. The truth stands alone. And this is, it looks like this is going to be the takeaway. This is why you have to stand on truth. This is why the truth hurts. This is why people oftentimes don't favor, or they don't have a desire for truth, because the truth hurts. It hurts, but it's a necessary hurt if we embrace it. Let me give y'all something real quick, and because I spent a lot of time on that, I'm going to give you just a few slides, and then we're going to knock this out. This is going to be a very familiar text, but I'm just going to end it with this. I'll end it with this one. So we talked a lot about truth already up until this point. Now let me just show you something. When you're talking about truth in particular, now we're specifically talking about preaching or handling or delivering the truth, in particular the word of God more specifically. Here's what Paul was telling Timothy. King James Version says, study to show thyself approved unto God. That again, study does not mean, it's not an academic term. It is a term that means to put a lot of effort towards. Like Thessalonians, study to be quiet, or study to be patient, those type of things. So now here, the same applies. That word study simply means do your best, be diligent. Now here, watch how I'm tying this in. Watch how this is very important when it comes to the truth. Y'all, I want y'all to get this. Now Paul is talking about how also in another verse, he said, now there's going to come a time when people are not going to endure sound doctrine. They're not going to endure, there's not going to be a desire for truth, sound teaching. Okay, there's going to come a time. And we're seeing that now even more so because of, the age of social media and internet, those type of things. But it was also applicable back then. So now, watch this. He says, be diligent to present yourself to God as one approved. That is talking about myself. Let's just say I'm using me tonight. He said, now, Craig, and maybe let's just apply it to all of us. Whatever your name is, Craig, make sure that when you're handling the truth, when you're delivering the truth, make sure that you first and foremost, make sure that you are diligent and that you are putting forth every effort, that you are presenting yourself to God as one that is approved. Because one thing that could really hurt your delivering of the truth, now remember, truth is going to still be truth, but it's going to hinder or even stagnate people's ability to receive the truth. Why? Because the one who's handling the truth or delivering the truth has not been approved by God, if you will. In other words, their standard of living, their character, their integrity has not been up to the standard that God has required. So he says, Timothy, make sure that you are diligent in presenting yourself to God first and foremost. So Pastor, why are you saying that tonight when you was just talking about truth? Because truth hurts. Truth looks like this. Truth is like a surgical procedure when you're delivering it, when you're handling the truth, when you're relaying the message of truth, when you're trying to help someone with truth. You have to be like a skilled surgeon, because the truth hurts anyway. It needs to be in the hands of a skilled individual. Are y'all getting this? When you're delivering the truth, here's what Paul is saying to Timothy, and I'm paraphrasing, of course. Make sure that you got yourself together. Is this making sense now? I'm breaking it down into layman's terms. In other words, don't call yourself trying to deliver people the truth when you haven't even proven yourself to be approved by God. When you're trying to handle the truth with hypocritical hands, it takes a certain capacity. It takes a certain level of skill. It takes integrity. It takes honesty. It takes openness. It takes a self-awareness. And whatever other adjective that you want to use with that. But it takes a certain capacity from an individual to be able to handle the truth. Because watch this, if I have not shown myself approved unto God, which we're seeing a lot of today, how many of you can attest to that? A lot of what you're seeing today from a local church perspective, in the church, from the church aspect, a lot of what you're seeing go wrong today is people, unqualified, unapproved people unto God. They have not shown that approval from their own personal lives towards God, and they are daring to handle God's truth and deliver it to someone, and because they have not shown themselves to be approved unto God, the truth, the message, it's not being handled properly. So let me finish reading that verse. Be diligent to present yourself to God as one, me, you, as one approved. Now watch what happens. Now, once I've shown myself to be approved unto God, I'm first partaker of the truth that I'm trying to deliver to people. A worker who doesn't need to be ashamed. Y'all remember I tell you about truth, how it produces a confidence, a certain posture where you can hold your shoulders back and you can speak truth. Correctly teaching the word of truth. Correctly handling, delivering, presenting, and I will add this in there, living out as an example, the word of truth. How can you do all of that? I got to first and foremost show myself to be approved unto God. I've got to have qualified hands. I've got to have, let me add this word in there. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I'm going to throw it out there. My hands have to be anointed. And oftentimes when you hear that word anointed, you think of giftings. But when you think about the word anoint or to be anointed, you need to apply certain words to that. Authorized, commissioned, approved, acknowledged. When David was anointed to be king, he wasn't just enabled to be, but he was appointed, he was acknowledged, he was chosen. And then after that, there was, of course, the training process after the calling. So when I say that my hands have to be anointed, there has to be a calling, if you will. There has to be a commissioning, a selection process. It's not just giftings and abilities. You know, you can, that's why I say I don't want to really go down this rabbit hole. But I've got to show myself. I've got to show myself. You've got to show yourself as well to be approved unto God if we want to handle the truth. Why? Because the truth hurts. Doesn't it make sense? Shouldn't it just make sense that the truth should be handled by someone with skilled hands, trained hands, prepared hands? I know that probably sounds familiar to some of y'all when we're talking about having trained hands. You know, trained hands give us the skills in our hands to fight and to war. Let's add something to that. Lord, train our hands to handle the truth as well. Because if the truth be told, you know, we've been, I say collectively, we've been just too careless, too irresponsible when it comes to handling the truth. We pick up a holy Bible, we pick up God's holy word, which is truth, and we have not been approved unto God. In other words, our private lives, our motives, and y'all know, y'all see this, the stuff I'm naming, our motives, our intentions, Our objectives are not kingdom objectives. They have become selfish and prideful and arrogant even at times. And we use the truth, attempting to use the word of truth, God's word, to promote our own personal agendas. And oftentimes we're not preparing as collectively, oftentimes we're not preparing word or truth for the better good, or the greater good, I should say, of the kingdom objective and the kingdom agenda, but we are utilizing, pimping, if you will, exploiting, trying to take advantage of God's truth to use it to our own advantage, for selfish gain, for pride, position, arrogance, to dominate over people, those type of things. So y'all see what I'm saying when I say we have got to do our best to make sure that we are approved unto God. You know, we desire, watch this, oftentimes collective, I'm saying that collectively, oftentimes we desire the mic more than we desire truth. Yeah, oftentimes we desire the microphone more than we desire truth. And why can we safely say that? Because I'm trying to think, it's coming back to me. I said this during a sermon as well. Because oftentimes when you grab that microphone, and oh yeah, this is what I told him. I said, if you grab that microphone will make you say stuff that ain't even true. you grab that microphone and you get caught up in the responses of the people and how they're reacting to you, and that microphone will make you say stuff that you know good and well ain't true. Because now the desire for the mic, the opportunity, the stage has now outweighed the desire for just simply truth. Because oftentimes, I found this out over the years, I'm closing with this. I found this out over the years. The truth doesn't always make people shout. It does at times. It does have its moments. But sometimes the truth just make you sit there and consider some things. Am I right about it? Sometimes the truth, that's right, Sister Hall, modern day scribes and Pharisees, sometimes the truth will make you just sit there and cause you to lament and consider your ways, to just sit and get an understanding and to say, hey, there are some adjustments that I need to make. But that microphone and that stage and that crowd and the numbers and everything else that goes with it, boy, it has the tendency to cause you to not prioritize truth. Some of y'all can remember this when on that same day that I also was mentioning that the approval of the crowd can be very addicting. I'm telling y'all. Y'all know I'm a very transparent preacher. You know, I feel like, again, truth helps people. I'm a very transparent preacher. Listen, when you stand before a group of people, when you stand on that platform, it can be very addicting. The responses of the people can become very intoxicating, to the point where now it's no longer about the assignment or truth or what God has intended for us to do. You have now gotten caught up in the hype. You start believing the hype, and now it's turned into something totally different. Now it's turned into something totally different, and it's not helping anybody. Well, except the one who's standing in front. So again, because the truth hurts, because truth within itself is going to be offensive, because the truth within itself alone, the truth by itself is going to challenge. It's going to challenge, it's supposed to. So you try to put that in the hands of unqualified, unprepared people, and I'm talking about unqualified, unprepared, and all the things I just mentioned. Immature, juvenile, untrained, haven't been tested, and you put truth, the assignment that goes along with truth in their hands, it causes a deficit in the intentions of the delivery, the intentions of what the ministry truly is supposed to represent. All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. I didn't get a chance to get any other slides up, but that's okay. I just believe that this short time that we've had tonight, I believe this is really going to help somebody. Let's go back over, and I want you to have a takeaway. Now, here's what I want y'all to do. We've got about, let's say we got about 5 minutes left. Can we do this in about 5 minutes? Let's try it. I want you to put in the comment section, I want you to post your takeaway. I want y'all to do that real quick. Can we get ready to go? This is going to be our dismissal. In the comment section right there at the bottom, I want y'all to post your takeaway. In other words, what is that thing? My wife used to introduce me when I would go different places to speak, and she would always say something that just came to mind. She would say, you know, she said, now he's going to say a lot of things, but get one thing, get that one thing, and you take it with you and you apply it to your life. My wife, she just about all the time, 9 times I've seen my wife, she said it all the time. So you get one thing and you apply it to your life and you live it out. So now, here's what I want y'all to do real quick. And let's see if we can do this in about 4 minutes. We got about 4 minutes now. That's good. Yeah. Put your takeaway, put that takeaway that you got from tonight, put that in the comment section, and we're going to let that be our dismissal. I see where Sister Brogdon has rest on the truth. I see what Sister Hall has, truth is hard and real, but needed and necessary. And I like what she has right here, and it starts with me. Now on the screen is going pretty fast, so I'm looking over here at my phone because it's a little bit slower. I see where Sister Joseph has this. She has the truth cuts, it corrects, it cleanses, it builds confidence, and it also challenges you. Brother Wilkins has the truth will set you free. I see where Minister Hutchinson has on his Catherine Hutchinson. Minister Catherine Hutchinson says the truth hurts, but it's needful, and I like that, and it is necessary. It's needful and it's necessary. Sister Quayman has this: the truth not only hurts, but I don't need anybody. It doesn't need anybody to support it, because in the end, the truth will stand alone. Hold on in the truth, and it will come to pass. I like that. Brother Watkins has, be true to yourself and God's word before we can properly inform others. That's good. Sister Cheryl Polk has this: the truth will set you free. Yeah, y'all, that is I'm telling y'all, it's simply profound. Well, what's going to set you free from all of that? The truth. Whatever has you bound, whatever has you held hostage, truth's going to get you out of that. Brother Green, Minister Green has this: outlive the truth by studying to be quiet. That is a good nugget, excellent nugget. Sister Shirley Brockton has this: Lord, don't let me use your word or truth to my own advantage. That's good. That's a good note to self. Sister Shirley Jones has, everyone doesn't want to hear the truth. Yeah, Sister Quinn, we got that correction on there. And our Sister Morgan, she has, live in your truth. Okay? That's a good one there. And I think lastly here, we have, Sister Quayman has another good one. Lastly, if you want to sleep well tonight or at night, tell the truth and stop lying. That's a good one there. This is a good one here, Sister Shirley. You don't need help with the truth. Remember what we said? That the truth doesn't need help. But a lie, it needs a whole lot of help. Somebody has to keep a lie going. Truth doesn't need anybody. But a lie, it needs a whole lot of fleshly involvement. Sister Bessie Johnson has, the truth of the Lord endureth forever. And Sister Tammy has knowledge is not enough. We need truth. And we're talking about the world knowledge, secular knowledge. We don't that's not enough. We need more of the truth, which is God's word. All right. So hey, thank you all for those interactions, your involvements. Thank you all so very much. You take those. Every time you have a gathering, virtually in-house, you got to ask yourself, what is my takeaway? What is that thing that I can take away from this time that's going to benefit me in a way that's going to make my walk with the Lord that much more effective? So we appreciate you all so very much. We want to say again, congratulations to all of our grandparents. We know we pushed that back another Sunday, but due to scheduling, of course, we had to do that. But nonetheless, we gave honor to where honor was certainly due. And can we just send up the hand clap emoji one more time for our grandparents? Thank you all again for your contributions. Thank you all for your efforts and your investments into the family. It has not and it will not go unnoticed. Thank you for being the backbone and the support of our families. All right, so we appreciate you all so very much for that. All right, so as always, we're going to be having our morning worship service coming up on this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. It will also be streaming live right here on our Facebook page and also right here on our YouTube channel if you cannot make it in person. But also, let's not forget this. We still have Sunday school. This little church still has Sunday school. So we have adult Sunday school lesson beginning at 9:30 a.m. every Sunday morning in person or on our members page. Okay, this is exclusively for our Lighthouse members. So Lighthouse members, if you have not yet been plugged into our members page, make sure you do so. You can let Sister Clark know, one of the administrators, I think First Lady's an administrator of the members page. So reach out to them and let them know that, hey, I need to be a part of the members page if they haven't plugged you in yet. And tune into Adult Sunday School. It is a wonderful time of learning, sharing, testimonies, praising. I'm telling you, Sunday School is evolving into something that I think we're yet to really see. We be having some church in Sunday School. All right, so we invite you and we encourage you to tune in or come in person to Sunday School beginning at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings. We also want to make mention of our 41st church anniversary. Let's do the hand clap emoji one more time. Our 41st church anniversary coming up on the 5th Sunday in this month. It will be in-house. There will be a time of fellowship afterwards. I think the colors will be any shade of blue, and it will be church attire. So we're inviting all of our friends and family members and supporters to come on out and let's celebrate 41 years of God's faithfulness towards this local ministry, and thanking Him for, if it had not been for the Lord on our side, we shudder to think where we would be. Thus far, the Lord has brought us. I'll be sharing with you on this coming Sunday, as we mentioned it in the staff meeting on last evening. I'll be sharing with you the theme. I hate to use that term theme, but the forecast for that Sunday, moving into the next, I would say, phase of our ministry. We're coming up on 40, we're 41 years in, and moving forward into the ministry forecast for the next season of the ministry. I'll be sharing it with you on this coming Sunday, and you can call it a theme, but I would say the ministry forecast for us moving into the 42nd year of our ministry. You don't want to miss that, and that will be the centerpiece of the message on 5th Sunday. All right, so again, our 41st church anniversary on this coming 5th Sunday, this month's 5th Sunday, beginning at 11 a.m. Any shade of blue, church attire, fellowship, food, all that after service. come on out and be a part of what God is doing in this next season of the ministry. So thank you also very much for your prayerful consideration, for your support. And there's a lot that I'm going to say during the church anniversary that I just want to just acknowledge you guys and thank you for making this ministry what it is. If it had not been for people like you who have been motivated by the Spirit of God, this ministry would not be what it is today. Good leadership means nothing if you don't have competent, committed, dedicated people to follow and to carry out the vision and the assignment that God has laid out for the church. So we want to say kudos to you. Thank you for having a sensitivity to what God is saying to the local ministry. And we appreciate you all so very much for that. All right. So again, govern yourselves according to that announcement. And I hate to even mention this, not hate to mention it, but it is saddening to mention the loss of Evangelist Brenda Smith, our very own Sister Watkins' sister, passed on this week. So it is posted. I'm not putting out information prematurely. It has not only been posted and mentioned by the family and her local church, but it has also been put out on our members page as well. So I'm asking you, we are soliciting your prayers towards the family of Evangelist Brenda Smith and that entire church family at Life Changers Ministry under leadership of Bishop Richard Denning. Continue to pray for that church, pray for that family, pray for Sister Watkins, pray for Brother Watkins in this devastating loss. Keep your ear to the ground as to the final arrangements and what you can do, how you can show your considerations towards this devastating time for the family. We'll keep you posted on that. But until then, what we could definitely all do is bombard heaven and petition God on behalf of the family, that God will give them peace, sustain them mentally and emotionally and in every other way, like only He can. All right. So we have other praise reports and information that is out there. So we'll give that to you at a later date. But I just wanted to make mention of that because this will be something that, again, Lighthouse members, you know your duties and responsibilities, like we always do. So we will keep you posted as to what the final arrangements and what the request of the family will look like in the coming days. All right. So we thank you so very much for your considerations for those who are dealing with sickness in their families. I'm not going to be specific, haven't been given liberty to do that, but dealing with sickness in their families, sickness in their bodies. Thank you for your consideration towards them and their family as well. We do like to be discreet because this is a very, very public platform. So we only mention those things that we have been given permission to mention. So that's why I say that we thank you so very much for your consideration towards those who are going through various situations and circumstances in their lives. Pray without ceasing. There's much to pray about. So much going on right here in this little community. And I was telling my wife the other day, I said, there's no way that any believer shouldn't be praying. There's no way that any believer shouldn't be praying, because there's enough, actually too much, to be praying about than to be sitting there and just talking about and getting involved in foolishness. But that we need to be praying. We need to be petitioning God for the issues that this community right here, Coffee County, just going through things that we haven't seen a lot of times in our own life, in our lifetimes, when it comes to our generation, things that we haven't seen. But there's much to pray about, much considerations to be thought about, and we thank you all for being led by God's Spirit. Thank you for tuning in and fellowshipping with us, joining in on this conversation with us tonight. And remember, the truth hurts, but yet and still, the truth, it marches on. So again, grace and peace. May God continue to strengthen your hands for the work that He has prepared for you. We'll see you all on this coming Sunday, live or in person. Grace and peace, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful evening.